Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, really super easy. We're going to be talking about words that need redefining. If we're going to be successful in our lives, sometimes we drag around with us this definition of words that don't make sense for the kind of life that we want to live. Have you ever noticed that? This is a thing that came to me. So the words matter. Words carry weight. Words mean something different to everybody. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that some people will use words in a way that you're just kind of going, what? I don't quite understand what you mean by that. And sometimes it's just a plain and simple situation where they've misused a word, or they have their own years and years worth of definitions of what that all means. And the first one that has come to mind here as we go through and redefine our words, you know what the first one is? Easy. Easy. Now, for years, I had an easy button that I got from the early 2000s that I schlepped from house to house when I moved. And it was just, I loved pressing it. You know, that was easy. Remember that? We had those, that was easy button. And I just thought it was hilarious. And so I had an easy button sitting on my desk. And then it was like, oh, not so much. You know, my kids would come in and smack it. And I would just finally get rid of the easy button and put it in my desk drawer. And finally it died. And now it has passed away, and we have let it go into the land of no longer functioning tchotchkes, wherever that is. But the word easy has somehow become the ultimate goal for everything. That's the thing that I look at, is how our culture dictates how the word is to be used, and that it's the only way that we want to have our life handed to us is easy. So I was having, I had a meeting every Thursday. We have a consultant who helps with us. And he said this thing that I just stopped everything and had to go write it down. And it was this: am I willing to let it be easy? I just want you to write that down yourself too. And think about it, ponder it, and contemplate. What does that mean? Because as he said that, I just went, okay, first of all, am I willing to let it be easy? Am I? Or do I have to feel like it's always hard? I'm always striving. It's always going to be just the other side of this hill, and that there's just this constant to keep up kind of a thing, you know? And I'm talking about anything and everything. So when I went into this, so I was thinking about this and I wrote it down. I mean, that was the first thing that I wrote down, and I put stars all around it. And I said, am I willing to let it be easy? Then I thought to myself, what is easy? What is easy? And we're going to go through all of this. Otherwise, I'm just going to take on a tangent. I want to go through my notes to make sure that I'm thorough. But I just want you to contemplate this word easy and think of how you've used it in the past. What does it truly, truly mean? And are you willing to redefine it? Okay. So like I said, sometimes the ultimate goal for everything is find the easy way, make it easy. And maybe we don't do that necessarily on purpose, but that's how we've been marketed to. Make it easy. Make it easy. Easy's the way. Easy bake oven. Easy, convenient, simple, easy, fast, hacks. All these words come flying at us, and we're looking at it and thinking, so why is it not easy for me then? Right? Why? Why is easy not easy? Because it's not. But it's the marketing gurus behind all of it and just thinking somehow or another they're going to put that snake oil all over this easy word and show you that if you don't have it easy, then you don't have, then you're doing something wrong. Right? You're doing something wrong. But let's take a look at what the dictionary says easy is. Easy is achieved without effort, uncomplicated, undemanding, and unchallenging. I made a decision a long time ago in my life that I did not want an unchallenged life, an uncomplicated life, an undemanding life. I made it a goal that I don't want to achieve anything without effort. I don't want to do one of these, win the lottery, do any of this, because I want to have pride in my accomplishments and I want to earn what it is that I want in my life. I want to earn it. And while I'm big on visualization, I believe in the power of manifestation. I believe this is God and you working together and your magnificent brain. It isn't done like that. Easy doesn't come that way. And this is where I totally blew myself out and I'm getting away from my notes. But hear me, because this is the writer downer part, okay? You know what easy is? Easy's all the hard stuff. Hear me. Easy's the hard stuff. Easy's getting on the bike when you don't want to get on the bike. Easy is eating the food maybe that you don't necessarily want to eat. Maybe you'd rather have a cheeseburger and some French fries instead of the hot milk soup with some protein in it. All of these things that I'm talking about right now are the easy things because there's no mental anguish that comes with them. There's no regret, ever. Hard, what the hard thing is, you want to hear what the hard thing is? The hard thing is the mental anguish that comes with weaseling out of doing the hard thing. You hear me? That blew me away. That blew me away. And it became, so this whole weekend and the last yesterday, Friday, and all of that, it's just been, don't even question, don't have a discussion, don't go into the mental place of having this emotional wrestling match over, am I going to do it or am I not going to do it? Just do it. Just show up. You're showing up for yourself. That's easy. Because when you're showing up for yourself, you're giving grace, you're opening the gate, and you're making it happen for yourself. Butterfly, that's kind of true. Easy is different to everyone, but what I'm trying to do is put a new spin on what easy is, because anguish isn't easy. Regret isn't easy. Making promises to yourself and breaking them all the time is not easy. That's hard. And when we stick to our easy, even though it's a difficult thing, it's a process, it's a bridge that you got to go through, being on the other side, that's what really it's all about, is deciding what the easy part is and deciding what the hard part is. Because right on, Tanya, being at 95% is hard because it's mental anguish and it's torture. What's easy is keeping your promise to yourself. It's an easier way. It's an easier path. Scott Beck, if you remember, W. Scott Peck, I think it is. The Road Less Traveled. That was his whole thing. It's easier to travel the road less traveled if you're going to keep the promises that you've made to yourself. And this is exactly what it is. So, question for you. Are you willing to let it be easy for yourself this year? Are you? Because this is what it looks like, we don't want to be reminded that easy and convenient often come with a price, do we? No. But I'll tell you what, they do. Easy and convenience comes with a price. Ask anybody who spent a lot of time in the drive-through lane and how they feel. That has it's easy dinner, cheap, easy, a hack even if you want, save time, save dishes, save a lot of things, but your health just goes completely down the tubes. I mean, it's pretty easy to find out. So, you know, but we find this whole way, this whole easy way of doing things out of this whole idea of convenience. But along the way, we are breaking the promises that we've made to ourselves because we've set our goals. We've have accountability partners, some of us do. We've done all the different things that we need to do in order to make this life, this idea, these goals that we have for ourselves happen. But and by the way, this is not condemnation. You understand that, right? I'm not condemning anyone for breaking their promises to themselves. I'm merely saying, how does it feel? Is that the easy way or is that the hard way? And one finger at you, three back at me. I'm saying this because this was such a big aha moment for me. And I wrote this down in my journal and I put stars all around it and I just said this is what I'm going to be really meditating on and writing about. And the reason that we're going to do this is because I want you to see how easily we're all dragged around by our nostrils by these marketing gurus out there. They've got it in for us. This is why we have a $60 billion a year diet culture that we all pay into to play. This is, really reason number 855 that I wrote this book, Getting Off the Carousel of Crazy, because it is crazy. And you know what's harder than getting off this carousel of crazy? I'll tell you exactly what's harder. It's harder to keep breaking promises to yourself and then keep showing up for yourself. Because after a while, you throw all of it out and you just say, I can't. It's too hard. But I will tell you this. We don't quit around here because we have grit. We don't say, that's it. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to be a part of this. What we do instead is that we look at the one thing that we can do. What is the one thing that we can do that's going to make a difference? What is the one promise that we can keep to ourselves and go forward? Right? Right? Vanessa, bingo, right there. The lies that we believed by General Mills posts and all the cereals, right? How many lies are there out there? How many things out there have we been told and deceived about, right? Whole grains. I saw a special. It was, I think, the sugar thing that somebody had done a sugar documentary. And these poor people, they're a very heavy family, and they were trying to change things up. And this woman, nutritionist, went into their home, and this woman did not understand how all these snack crackers could be a problem in cookies. She's saying, but look, they're low fat. They're whole grain, She's plain didn't understand. This is the nutrition crap that's out there and the whole big food stuff that's out there that are taking down our health, expanding our waistlines, and ruining, our lives. This is all in the name of easy, by the way. And it just boils my blood. It just boils my blood. And I want to bring this to everybody's attention because honestly, who doesn't want easy? Anyone? We all want easy. But my point is we need to redefine what easy truly is, because the hard way is the so-called easy way that the culture's dishing out. That's the hard way, because it will lead to problems. It will lead to confusion. It will lead to eating disorders. It will lead to a bunch of crappy food in your pantry. It will lead to you feeling like crap. It will lead to a place where you're finally sitting across from a doctor getting a bad diagnosis out of something that could have been prevented. That's what I'm talking about. That's the light bulb for me. I'm sharing my light bulb with you. Plug it in. Put it in the socket if you want and let it light you up as well. Or say, no, I don't, it's up to you. But we have to start making decisions based on our own personal integrity and not what the culture's telling us is true, right? We can't afford that. I can't. At my age, as they would say, I don't want these health issues. I don't want all of this crap. You know what I want? I want everything that I can possibly get out of this life right now, today, where I am at 63 years old. I want vibrancy, capital V. I can't do it if I'm going to listen to the culture tell me what easy is. Because their definition of easy, go to a grocery store, go into the frozen food section. Easy, fast, just 3 minutes in the microwave, fast, easy, convenient. It's all crap. There is nothing easy about that. There's nothing easy about having a doctor say, I'm sorry, but this is where you are. This is a thing that's happening. And these are the medications you're going to have. And this is what it's going to look like, going forward. And I'm not, again, this is not condemnation. This is absolutely the gut-wrenching truth of what the definition of easy is and how we've sucked it all down. Spoon-fed. And we were like this, opening our mouths and letting the culture, the diet culture, feed us this crap. You just think about, like, what kind of money do people need to be convinced to make to represent products that are complete and utter crap? I see Marie Osmond, God bless her, with all of her hair extensions and massive makeup and, sitting there in her skinny jeans for this crappy food company. I lost 50 pounds. Well, good for you, Marie. At what cost did you lose that 50 pounds? What about the nutrients in your body? What about all of that? And not just her, it's the whole culture. But who can we get to represent? Who can we pay a boatload of money to represent lies? Because it's easy. And it's easy on their pocketbook, by the way. It's easy for them to do this. It's easy for them to convince them, because if it worked for Marie Osmond, well, there you go. Sign me up. It's not easy. It's hard. It is the hard way. What's easy is doing it anyway, because even at the time when it seems like, oh, this is a change, this is rough, getting on that bike or going and doing that hike with the kids or whatever it is that you've agreed to do, or doing that sprint and printing it all out and buying the stuff and having it all rot in your crisper instead of following through and doing it. All I'm saying is, you, me, and everybody else who's decided to, one, opt out of the diet culture. Amen. Amen. Anyone? Pinkies up. Get off the carousel of crazy. Anyone who has decided to do that and then has said, this is what I'm going to do because I'm a promise keeper and I keep the promises to myself. I keep the promises to my spouse. I keep the promises to my kids. I keep the promises to my community, to my family. I keep my promises. And as we do that, that's when we see what easy's really about. That's where we see our lives change unbelievably right before our eyes. The consistency shows up. The unstoppability is there because you've made a switch and you've changed what your definition of easy is all about. That brings me to tears. It brings me to tears because it changes everything. It's not hard. It's not hard anymore because it's easy to keep our promises to ourselves. And that's what counts. Can you imagine showing up for yourself in such a way like that? And when we show up for ourselves like that, we show up for everybody else differently. Life looks different. There's a new lens in those glasses. There's a new lens. The definition, the transformation is what we're about because we want to transform our lives so we can bring as many people as we can with us. It's all. There's vibrancy in changing the definition of words that have previously drug us down. There's so much. And so easy's following through with what it is that you say that you want and that you've spent time making goals for and spent time learning about and spent time creating vision boards for and everything else. It's following through. That's easy. That's an affirmation looking at your vision board, you know? That is an intention when you look at the goal that you've set. And everything changes when you keep your promises to yourself. Ask Tanya, she's here, right? Did you see what she said? Planning food and eating it as I plan because I know what I need to be eating to continue to be successful. It is a consistency thing that happens on the daily. It's a consistency thing. It's showing up for yourself. It's saying, I love myself enough that I'm going to do this without the turmoil between your ears. And you know what that feels like. You know that back and forth and back. It's exhausting. Stephen King said, amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. Nike said, just do it. And Diana Nyad said, find a way. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. I want you to find a way to your own personal integrity and to keep your promises to yourself and recognize that you need to redefine what easy is. Are you going to let the diet culture do it for you? Or are you going to do it for yourself? Are you going to keep your own promises and keep those to your family, to your spouse, to your friends and your community? Are you going to do that? Because if you do, then the needle moves in the direction you want it to. I'm not talking about the scale necessarily. I'm talking about your life because it's all connected. It's all connected. Vibrancy doesn't happen on a scale. Vibrancy happens in your life. And it's all connected from A to Z, from what's on the end of your fork to the getting yourself to bed every night, from stopping what you're doing and starting something else and keeping your word. So if that's you, if that's going to be you, starting right now today, if you are going to redefine what easy is, then pinky's up, sister, because we've got work to do. We've got work to do. We just have to show up, right? Just do it. We've got to find a way, and we have got to be the women who say no to the culture, say no to convenience, say no to easy, and start understanding that our easy is the hard stuff, and our hard stuff is truly easy. Who knew? Who knew this would be a thing? It is. And we're in it together, just like Nancy said. Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you so much, Helen. I appreciate you. So I hope this bowled you over like it did me. I mean, I kind of was alluding to it on Friday and Saturday because I literally had tears in my eyes as I was writing all this stuff out in my journal. This is the thing. This is the needle mover. And I invite you to stand on those promises because you're worth it. 100%. Peace be with you. I appreciate you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.